Hello.
Hello.
I arrive with tea.
Switch hold.
Because Ebenezer's a gentleman.
Oh man, now I feel weird. I probably shouldn't have listened to the Gladiator soundtrack for 2 hours before we started.
Oh god.
Well, guys, I have a feeling that we'll be doing a lot of fighting in an arena.
It's not that. It's just the wrong tune for a campaign like this.
Ebenezer shows up dressed as a Praetorian. I'm just kidding. He shows up with scones and a newspaper.
And probably tea.
Oh yeah, well I assume the house has tea, now that I know that they do have tea.
Yes.
But you have to be assured that I am packing tea, in case.
I have tea, and I'm not afraid to use it.
The question is, what kind of tea?
The letter?
Oh, it's probably like a black tea, something very strong. As only very strong things seem to affect Ebenezer in the slightest.
Earl Grey.
That would be thematically right. So probably like a mixture of Earl Grey and some dark orange Pico. Not that sissy green stuff.
That's not tea. That's a disgrace.
So, I can't quite remember if we left off at the quote-unquote embalmers or at the Septimus's lab.
I think we were at Septimus's lab.
Yeah,
like we
I
were
ha-
kind of all just pondering the greater implications of everything that's happened.
Yes.
yeah, I brought you to my lab to show you the gun and the letter, and telling you that he had some military grade stuff.
Yes.
I'm
You have
flipping
found-
through his sketchbook. And I'm looking at the wings. Very
Yeah,
interesting design.
Oh yes, but it failed.
Power supply.
Amongst other things.
Yeah, so last week you managed to do some things, complete the little side job that you managed to get, and in the process uncover some interesting things. I wouldn't say nefarious in any way, but interesting.
We discovered a shadow organization.
Yeah.
And they discovered us.
Implying that they didn't already know about you.
Oh, it's all new to me. Is it all new to me? I've been around for a while.
You've probably never met or interacted with them before, but you're fairly sure that as unique as you are, even in a city this big, they probably know about you.
There's probably some tourist brochure about the city that mentions me. The Amazing Mechanical Man.
If tourism was actually a big thing,
Which it isn't, because it's not, you know, you want to keep your workers where they are.
yeah. Like there's some tourism, but it's usually reserved for like bigwigs.
Yeah, like diplomats and emissaries.
And just people with a lot of money.
Factory owners.
I assume there's a lot of like nationalism and home pride and
Oh yeah. There's also like quite a few wars going on, so factory work is kind of the big thing. The country you're currently in have currently 2 wars going. One with a rival nation that is, for all intents and purposes, Russia, but legally distinct. And another one which is basically like think of it like U.S. war on terrorism, but this is more against pirates, because pirates are a fairly big thing in this world. Some of them are even quite successful.
Pirates are terrible.
I now I just want, like, whenever Ebenezer says pirates, he says like in Off-World Trading Company, pirates, those filthy bandits. Seriously, no one has played that game.
No.
Come on.
what game?
Off-World Trading Company.
Oh, no. Why would anybody play that game?
It's a good game.
Touche.
No, it's it too.
No, but his argument moved me.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, so it is still pretty much. It's like very, very early evening. The sun is still up, as such as it is. It's fairly smoggy in most of town. The sun it still casts like a glimmer on the city, but meh. Like
Pollution makes the sun look much more interesting.
yeah, it's pretty much like our background image. It's like that hazy kind of sunlight.
Well, Septimus isn't really paying attention to it. He's not really paying too much attention to his guests either. He's currently tinkering with something.
Yeah, I'm going through your broken stuff, see if there's anything that I can utilize.
And I'm reading through his sketchbook.
Well, there's probably a lot of like just pieces of junk basically that could probably repurposed, but you gather that the reason they're just laying around is because it would take way too much work to do so.
You have to know better. I will take some time to explain knolling to him, which is where you organize all your parts by various metrics.
Yeah, well, I'm less looking for something that I already work on, just plain out like materials. Like if something's broke, if anything, I can salvage.
I'll start organizing every loose piece of thing from the smallest to the largest.
No, don't do that. How am I supposed to find it again?
It'll be right there, and I point to where it's lying.
Yes, but you want to move it.
Well, I've already moved it. I took the one clean floor space and I started filling it with little pieces. And as floor space opens up, I'll keep doing that.
Well, I'm going to say if you want to try and find something useful in this place, you can make a scrounging check at -2. If you don't have scrounging, you can take a perception at -6.
Let me just find how horrible that would be. Probably a 4. No, a 5. Fuck it.
Yeah, there's a lot of worked material. And it's like most of it you probably couldn't repurpose. There's like a few springs here and there. Like there's like stuff you could buy for like a penny. Yeah, pretty much. It's like so the professor's workshop is pretty much. He's got some stuff, but it's usually like things that he's already started working on. So it's pretty much everything is already customized for his use. It's also not a very big place, so like hoarding materials in here wouldn't really be feasible.
Oh,
Well-
did you find anything, Dan?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's all a bit too damaged for me. So, do we have any more plans for this event? Are we going out looking for these people?
I'd kind of like to go to the races.
Seriously? At this time?
It's just when they're starting.
I mean, we have other things to do.
Yeah, but
How
I got a
can-
good feeling about today.
How can you think about horses when they're shadow men?
Horses?
Well,
Talking-
horses,
Talking about
cars,
airships.
dogs, airships. Oh my god, that's even worse.
Oh, maybe I should build a wall. Yes. Septimus is grabbing his sketch and starting to make what kind of looks like an airship.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to bring Septimus down to the pits so we can see some of the formula style of airships.
Oh, no, I don't have time for that. I have work.
Okay.
By the way, Septimus, do you even have engineer airships? Because I should point out, if you don't, you probably have no fucking clue how to design one.
But together.
Wasn't it engineer clockwork that you said at least before? Because it was
The
really
engineer clockworks encompass a lot of like a lot of general stuff. Like you can make a lot with it, but for airships, it's specifically engineer airships. You could probably make like a propeller or an engine for a functioning airship.
Well, it's not going to be functioning.
Well, the last one, you just crashed.
I fell off the airship.
Yeah.
But no, I have steam engine and electrical and clockwork.
You could probably make a steam engine that would work. A lot of airships on the cheaper side are powered by steam.
Yes, it can drive the propeller and fill the balloon with hot gas.
Yes.
Besides, nobody talked about it actually having to work.
If you can build me an engine.
I kind of poke at Noah and like, if the nerds are gonna go into their airship convention, should we then just go look for anything? Clues?
But I still have work.
I'm gonna drag Septimus to the racetrack.
I would definitely like to look for clues about this thing. Group of people.
Yeah.
Order.
Well, there's a few ways you can go about it. You can go to the public library, which there's actually quite a few in the city. But for quality research and assurance, you might want to go to, say, a more private institution, but you don't really have access to those.
Well, after Ebenezer tries to convince and pull, then Septimus will actually follow.
Right.
I rolled for Workaholic, I think it's called.
I mean, technically this is a work trip. But it's a fun work trip.
That might be how you convinced me.
Yeah, there's also like you could ask around, but that is always the I should put it, it's always unreliable information. You could talk to information brokers, which is usually a little bit more reliable, but costs money.
There's probably no way my uncle and aunt and grandmother or whoever is guarding my father's library, they're not gonna let me use that one. So let's go to the public library first.
Yeah, it's a good place to start.
Alright, so, well, I'm gonna say, you all pretty much leave at the same time, since Septimus is leaving, he needs to lock up and stuff like that. So you get out on the street, it is still a busy day. People still haven't quite stopped working yet. And this part of town, there's a little bit more foot traffic and carriages. There's even, every now and again, there's one of the horseless carriages. But what really takes you a little bit by surprise is that as you exit, and Septimus has just managed to lock the door, you are all of a sudden encompassed in, well, the sun is blocked out all of a sudden.
I look towards
they
the
always
sun.
said this day would come.
What day is
Oh,
it?
enough arrows have blocked out the sun.
I will look towards the sun. Well, where it's supposed to be.
Don't go blind.
Well, through the like today is a fairly clear day, which is why you still have quite a lot of sun. So what you see is kind of surprising and a sight you've only seen maybe once before. And it is the sight of something that you read about or heard about in the news some time ago. And it's this, you can't really see details, but it's a very large airship that you see is currently heading in towards the city. and you recognize the shape of it because it is literally one of the largest things that currently exist. So it's kind of hard to not notice. You know it as the HMAS. What was it? HMHS Gorgon.
Wasn't Hindenburg.
Ooh, a dreadnought. I mean, ooh, the dreadnought.
I look towards it for a moment and look at Ebenezer.
Is it a military ship?
Yes, it is. It is currently the most advanced and probably the most secret bit of high-tech military advancement in the recent years.
For a secret thing, it's quite obvious.
Well, it's not the thing isn't very secret because
the components.
It's meant to be imposing, but not a lot of people know how this thing works. Just a moment while I...
Yeah, if Ebenezer could drool at the thought of accessing a engineering bay, he would.
Yeah, for your reference, Ebenezer, since you actually have some background in this, like the first thing you know is that this thing does not operate on hot air or even should I haven't named this yet. There's a substance that you can use and is frequently used in high-end airships, which is kind of a affront to the laws of physics.
Unobtainium.
Not really, because it's like you through a bit of a alchemy, or you can find it naturally.
Well, unobtainium is actually a scientific notation.
Unobtainium is like, if we had this thing that could do these things, it's that thing.
Oh,
Kinda.
it's so pretty. It also looks like a giant particle cannon.
Okay, that's not
No,
where
it was-
my head went.
My head was going towards the Mass Effect mass relay.
And I see a running animal,
Yep. Also a whale.
but it has legs.
Well,
Yeah, it definitely
kinda.
looks like a head.
Looks cool.
So I assume we're having this conversation as it floats above our head.
Yeah, so to continue the scene, so you notice this thing. Of course, it's a bit obscure due to the smog, so you can't really see the details. But you can see that A, it is slightly listing, and B, there is a thick cloud of smoke coming out from several places behind it.
Oh, that's not good. We should get underground.
I don't
Is
think
that- is
that would
that
help. I think that big of a thing would just go through ground.
Is it because of the engines, or is it because it has taken damage?
You're not sure.
But we know something's not right.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's crashing. It still looks like it's operational. It's probably just, for some reason, it has suffered some type of damage. To your knowledge, because whenever this thing moves, it is like a fairly big thing, and like it's a fairly big news thing, basically. And so far, this thing hasn't been engaged in the war yet, because it's plainly just too expensive to use in an offensive action.
It's kind of like the nukes. It's like, hey, we have this. You're warned.
Sounds more like it's a typical battleship. Like, it's super expensive and looks super awesome, but you really don't use it in combat. You use cheaper shit for that.
Oh, you use battleships for coastal bombardment. But yeah, I think this would be considered bigger than a battleship.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, it is about as big, but okay, it's about 20 to 30% larger than an equivalent ship, say an airship carrier of today.
How long is it? About roughly. Can I have an estimate?
Actually, don't remember. That's
The
the
hull of
size.
it?
That's a size I use to describe it. I don't actually have the correct dimensions because my planning for today was woefully inadequate because I got a bit stuck in other things.
Okay. But like, are we talking in hundreds of meters or are we talking in over a kilometer?
We're talking like it's over 100 meters. I'm pretty sure of that.
Okay.
Well, an aircraft carrier is like 300 meters in length.
Yeah, so it would be something in like the almost the 400 meter range then.
Okay.
So yeah, this thing is fairly massive.
Oh, that would make a very nice workshop.
You are.
Yeah, sir. How about you go see if you're allowed in while we go check the library?
I have no idea what that's about, but I know it's probably not good.
Yeah. No, it's a prototype. It's supposed to be smoking.
No, I mean its presence here.
I mean, I guess it's also because it's smoking.
Yeah.
Well, presence there isn't too uncommon. Like, you don't see it very often because it's mostly in birth. But they've taken it out for some reason, and it is returning smoking. But that's pretty much all we can gather.
But it's probably nothing good. However,
We have a library to go to.
Yes, we have a racetrack to go to.
Have fun.
hopefully
But,
it's not
but
that
with
bad.
that, I want to see it.
I don't think you're allowed to see it. It's a
I
super
mean-
secret military
I mean,
ship.
it's kind of hard to not see it.
I mean closer or from the inside.
You could always enlist in the Navy and through diligent work get promoted up to command staff and eventually rewarded the command of that ship, Ebenezer will say.
Pretty sure that you'll either die or that ship shut down before you can do that.
Oh,
Oh.
no, I was thinking of looking at it and... oh, yes. If I create some lenses, I can... Yes. And Septimus will start opening the door to his workshop again.
I will start dragging him away. I'll be like, we need to start with something smaller.
Yeah.
I'm just like kind of starting to walk towards the library. So, come on.
Yeah. Same.
Alright. Well, the library is pretty much in the same part of town as Septimus. Well, one of the libraries, at least, the closest one, is pretty much in the same part of town as Septimus's shop. The racetrack is... You have to go quite a bit to get to it, but... Like, it's still within the same, like, quarter of the city.
Yep, and I'm gonna take him right up to the luxury box so I can place my bets. And I'll order food.
Okay, so when you get to the racetrack is a fairly familiar sight. There is quite a lot of men, mostly, buzzing about. Some are discussing certain things. Most people are discussing the current bets. There seems to be a little bit of a buzz around the Gorgon that has just passed by because the berth is only about a kilometer away. So, let's see here. There is no race scheduled for another few hours because there's still like it's midweek, so most of the racing is done during the evenings. Jesus Christ, I'm stumbling over my words. But you can still find, like, there is still at least one race that seems interesting, but it's mostly an amateur race, which, by the way, in this business is quite of a rare thing.
Ooh, amateur night race. There are gonna be some good crashes.
Also, you can, if you want to place a bet, you can roll your gambling skill to see if you can figure out like what the best odds are, basically.
Nice.
Well, I don't know anything about this, but could you bet $10 for me?
Sure, my good man. And I'll point him to the team that I think's gonna do well.
Well, since it's an amateur race, there isn't really teams as much as there's individuals. Most of the airships used in the amateur races are fairly subpar things. These races aren't always up to individual skill either. It's mostly what type and how well you maintain your airship.
It's like boats with little balloons.
Yeah.
Like canoes.
Well, not really. There's, like, most of them are, you can tell, are hand-built by enthusiasts. Usually they are powered by hot air, propellers and very small engines. A few have gas engines, most have steam engines. So there is no real standard to these kinds of races.
Okay. Who's the driver I think's gonna do well?
Well, there is a few you think will do fairly well because they seem to have some okay-ish ships, and they've been around maybe once or twice before. But one you think has the best odds is probably one named Gordon Waltz, a youngish man in his mid-20s. You've seen him once before where he came third, and he races with a bit of a eccentric little thing. It's a one-man airship that uses, instead of using one single large balloon, it uses 3 smaller.
Yep, Waltz is our man, and I'll put $1 on Waltz.
Currently, his odds are, I believe, 5-1.
Yep, so I'm putting $11 on Waltz.
Right.
And since we have a few hours to kill, I think we should go visit him. Check him out in the pits.
Well, if you say so. I have no idea about this.
Okay, well, that did not work.
Well, you do manage to get to his pit because amateur pits are more open than the standard races. And you see Gordon sitting, fiddling with the engine currently. his stable is pretty much just him. And he doesn't even own this one, he's just renting it for the day, basically.
Good day, Mr. Waltz. Fine night for racing.
Hello. Can I help you?
Oh, yes, we were just here to see the races tonight. I think you've got a good chance to win.
Oh, why thank you, my good sir. I do hope that I can. If I do, I might be able to get into the intermediate races, which will be quite a boon, especially to my economy.
It's a fine profession. May I look at your boat?
Sure. I do not keep it secret.
I'd like to look it over to see if there's anything that I could possibly help with or fix. Maybe something that's not tuned.
That looks interesting.
Well, probably a mechanic. Airships. You think you see that there is like on one of the balloons, you see that there is a bit of the canvas that has been scratched, and you quickly grab like some of his spare materials and quickly patch it up before it becomes a problem. And he notices it, and he thanks you for your help. But there isn't really much you can do to fine-tune it, because he is currently doing that himself.
Indeed.
Other than that, it seems pretty much everything is fairly well maintained. There's no slopping. His steering cables, his engine seems to be fairly well made. It's a bit custom because you can't really place the manufacturer. But yeah.
Well, Septimus will just look upon what's being done, finding it very interesting.
Yeah, you don't really understand a lot of it, but you do understand enough that like you can point out parts here and there that you recognize and could probably work on, or even in some cases create.
Well, if it's steam powered, then I assume I understand that part. The propulsion system I might not understand.
It's this one is actually a oil powered, so it's using internal combustion.
Good part of that engine.
Yeah, internal combustion is still a bit of a newfangled thing, but people have started but some people know how to make them. Some people have even put them to use in quite a few things, but they're generally quite expensive, and generally if you want one, you usually have to make one, because they're still not in mass production, except for in the case of the military, as for most things.
Indeed, and they run very dirty. Takes a lot of maintenance.
Oh yeah, they are veritable smog dispensers. Anyway, I'm going to assume that you would spend some time just looking around.
Wandering around the pits. Wandering around the pits, Septimus is probably sketching something. And when the races start, I'm gonna take him up to the skybox that Lady Fiona owns. We can have like champagne and caviar.
Well, in the meantime, Noah and Dan, you arrive at the local public library, which at this time of day is fairly low populated. well, it's usually quite low populated because a lot of people don't actually read too much at the public library.
Yeah. Is there like a old newspapers section?
Yeah, it's a fairly well-stocked library because to be kept in business, they pretty much have to be. It's a fairly large building. It is built out of an old cathedral from a religion you can't really remember the name of.
I just say it like, you seem to be more into that whole occult thing. You should start there, and I'll take a look at possible like secret organizations if they have anything in the history of them.
Well, the thing about public libraries is that they have categories, they're well organized, but esoteric knowledge isn't one of their big aisles.
Yeah.
Let's see here. To basically, I hadn't planned on going to the library at all. Okay, so let's see here. What role could it possibly be for you to find what you're looking for? I think it probably is a search check.
Bitches. When defaulted.
I believe perception -4.
Yay. So God damn it.
I find all the books and you find nothing.
Well, it kind of makes sense. No, if you might have actually been here before in doing other research. But you find there is a small section in the slightly more esoteric knowledge section. It's like a subdivision where you find a few books that might have some correlation. There is no real book on the Order of Ferrum specifically, but you do find one book of ancient societies. You find another one that is the occult in modern society, and oh, I this one I actually had a name for the
A children's physics books on shadows.
no, I believe the Shades of Blythetown.
What does it like? What is it about?
It is a record of a mysterious organization that remains unnamed through most of the book, but it has some striking resemblances to the Order of Ferrum that you've already maybe heard of or read about in the past. And that's about what you get from a quick skim.
Dan,
Looks interesting.
can you sneak this book out?
I can try.
I mean, we could maybe.
We could also just like the library.
Just get a library card. I'd like to check this
Yeah.
out.
But they don't always want to check all the books out, and also, I don't know if I want to return it.
Well, you can always just not.
Sure.
I should note that public libraries don't usually lend out books
Yeah.
because they tend to not be returned.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much like forced to read them here.
Are they chained to a desk?
No, they're not.
I don't think anyone will miss this particular book.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the section that contains all the books that are written by people who others think are crazy.
Mm. This is like this is the part where I look at my number and I'm like, I have a good chance at succeeding this, but I really don't want to fail it. Fine, I'll try to sneak it out.
I'll stay here for a second and take a read at these 2 other books. So it's not suspicious.
Well, the Shades of Blyton is a fairly small volume. It's more like a journal, really.
Yeah.
So it fits like within a jacket or something. But if you want to sneak it out, that would be a hideout with a bulk modifier of -2.
Cool. Then I don't actually have that because it's GURPS and all the skills are so obscurely named. Because I do have sleight of hand.
Yeah, sleight of hand is literally like
Yeah.
magic tricks.
Mm.
Actually, it might actually be palming. No, palming is taking something without someone
it's-
seeing.
Yeah. Or
And
hiding it on your body.
Yeah, hideout is hiding it on your body.
You could just run away real fast.
I do that really, really well. I can also climb and like jump. So what is it defaulted with? Then because then I don't have that good of a chance.
I don't have the book open, but I'll say
What was it named? Hideout?
I believe it's hideout.
I have it. Let me find it.
I'm still trying to memorize a lot of stuff because GURPS is so massive.
And there is no such thing as hideout at least here.
Is it palming then?
Yeah, palming sounds right.
But I mean, it's so like by GURPS I can understand it being something else. Let me just take a look at the thing. I can't even find palming from this book. It's weird. That should be a skill. Not just be blind. Nope. It goes like the P skills are packing, paleontology, and then it goes to panhandling.
I mean, how adept do you think librarians are? Are these secret ninja librarians?
Have you ever met a librarian?
They usually have very large classes. They
Yes.
see everything.
Holdout. That's the skill. Its default is IQ -5 or sleight of hand -3.
I will take that sleight of hand. Because IQ -5 is 6, and my sleight of hand -3 is 11. So, like, yeah. Well, fuck you too.
Stop,
Because
thief!
there is. As the librarian will eventually notice me, I'll just pull up my hood and start running.
Librarian rips off clothes to reveal tracksuit and running shoes.
Well, luckily, I think I still have my backpack, which means that I have climbing kit, so I can just literally throw up the grappling hook.
All right. So you basically put the book inside of your jacket. It's not very well hidden because you can't really get it into one of your pockets. It's a little bit too big, and like there's a bit of an obvious bump there. But as you start heading out, you notice that the man that is manning the desk is basically nose deep in the ledger and doesn't seem to notice you even start heading towards the door.
Yeah. Okay.
They are not used to people stealing their books.
Yeah. Well, actually, how GURPS works, that's actually kind of understandable. Because failed roll doesn't automatically mean failed roll. Because opposed checks are like in relation to your success number. Like I get a -4, technically. If he gets a -5, he fails. But yes.
You managed to sneak the book outside.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Noah, you're reading the other two books.
Yep. Just quickly looking through the page where there's the other pages. Oh my god.
Well, you find a few references to similar organizations, but you don't actually find any specific mentions.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I would also like to take a look at some of the recent newspapers.
All right.
Like, what's actually the name of the merchant? How's we rated? I mean, I have his letters. I think there might be at least his first name in them.
His name is Nathaniel Graham.
I'd like to see if there's any mentions of him in
You find his obituary pretty quickly from a few days ago. It's a fairly long and sent in by some like business relative, basically. Probably some friend, but you don't recognize the name.
So it's nothing special or interesting.
Well, there is always like the center section of the newspapers usually contain murders because they happen frequently in this place. Yeah, it's like a murder is anything from a planned murder to manslaughter to just street violence. So
Yeah.
but yeah, there isn't really much standing out from the norm. There is some pages on how the war seems to be going, though it mostly seems to be propaganda.
Obviously.
Yeah. There is a small section in one of the pages from about a week ago that discusses some of the older airships that just now starting to reach the common market. But other than that, is fairly standard fare.
Okay.
Are airships like 3D printers were like 2 years ago? Like effectively they were a thing, but not in common use at all really, but kind of like started to just about to get there.
Well, kinda. Like, airships have been in somewhat wide use for like over 100 years.
Yeah, they're ubiquitous now.
Yeah, but the thing is that most of them are still quite bloody expensive. So, like, even the smallest ones are usually people who, like, usually maybe a merchant has one. It's more common for regular folks to have, like, rowing boats, like literal rowing boats, or and even merchants usually use like old wooden ships, like the
Caravels.
like, yeah, like there's it's kind of hard to explain because I'd have to go fairly deep into how the technology of the world works, which is kind of strange because there's quite a bit of technology from 100 years ago, but there's also some technology that probably shouldn't exist until like maybe 50 years into the future.
After going through a like week or two worth of newspapers, I'm gonna also head out of the library.
Yeah, you quite quickly meet up with Dan, waiting for you.
I'm probably reading through the book.
Yeah, the book seems to be there is a lot of similarities between what you've heard Noah explain about the Order of Farum and the notes in the book. Because it speaks of a town called Blighttown. It's generally known to be a abandoned ghost town, maybe 50 or so miles outside of the city, and it's the Shades is referring to an organization that is believed to have been part, or at least partially responsible for all the citizens of Blighttown basically just up and leaving one day.
Did they mention any citizens that would have moved here?
No, it doesn't go into detail of any specific citizens. It has some accounts from anonymous sources, but most of them seem to be kind of exaggerated.
Well, this is interesting.
It does, in one section, describe what you did see happen when you met the mysterious man that requested a note from you. And it describes how they apparently had the power to walk between shadows. The exact description of which is a bit muddled because one source believes they just went invisible while in a shadow. Others seem to think they teleport within a shadow or something of that manner. But it certainly didn't look natural, whatever they did.
Does this book have an author?
No, actually, it's an anonymous author.
Not surprising.
So, what should we do? I mean, he's probably tell us about them, but does it tell anything about the like actual people in the cult affair?
Not really.
Like no identifying things about them, nothing.
No. The only thing that some accounts can even describe is that they aren't, at least they aren't all the same height, because their uniforms are fairly not the exact same as one another, but they usually all have some sort of face mask, which means that any sort of identification is close to impossible.
But since they're different heights, it's definitely more than one person.
Oh yes,
And
and they're not like cloning midgets or anything.
Why would you go there?
No idea.
How on earth did your brain go there? I think we should maybe head home.
How far away was the ghost town?
About 50 miles.
I think it's worth paying a visit at some point.
Well, should we? That's probably a day thing.
Yes, most definitely. Probably
So-
multiple day thing.
Yes. So we could leave there tomorrow if the professor and Ebenezer don't have anything planned.
Yeah. Well, should we then head towards the racetracks? Would I know where they are?
You would. They would have headed to the most prominent one in the area, which is also the one that Ebenezer frequents.
Should we head there?
Well, you can go there. I'm gonna head home, study this book a little more, like read it through 1 or 3 times.
Yeah, go just catch them up.
And I'll head home.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll be heading towards the racetracks, and I will be like kind of asking mostly about like if anyone has seen Ebenezer, because it's Ebenezer.
Yeah, they'll probably direct you straight to Lady Fiona's skybox, which
Pretty
is on
much.
the upper part of the straightaway viewing area.
Although I do think Dan is not allowed there. Not even in the area. Because it's a pretty high-end area.
Well, if I get the message that someone's there, I will let them up.
Yeah. It's a fairly simple thing. It's basically, he gets there, is stopped by the guards, they send a messenger up to you, and you basically let him through.
As I get up and like like get up into the place and I'm like, this is fairly fancy. I noticed the caviar and it's just
Yeah, when you open the door to the skybox, it's just like comfy chairs and little tables with like hors d'oeuvres and champagne. I might have ordered like a masseuse for the professor.
yeah. I'm doing the kind of like the Jack Sparrow, like, oh, fancy food, let's be inappropriate kind of thing.
Oh,
So-
no masseuse for me. Thank you.
Daniel, you want a massage?
Mm,
I mean, they don't really
Sure.
work for me.
sure.
Honestly, I don't think even Lady Fiona would have something that fancy.
Wah.
I mean, she is rich, but she doesn't have like her skybox isn't the most lavish. It is a very nice place to watch the races, and it's private, and you get to use it for free. But it's not like you can have everything you would ever imagine.
Do we at least get champagne and caviar?
Yes, there is that.
I was gonna say that should be like a basic.
Yeah. But there's still quite a while before the races start, so Noah, you get home.
Noah went to make tea.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
I
I'm-
keep it.
Well, I'll just catch up the others that we found a book. It didn't say anything about the firms, but it basically was about them.
This Blight Town interests me. I am gonna wrap one of the lobsters up like a swan. And I'll probably bring that to the pub for Noah.
And what did that book say?
They were responsible of the aforementioned Blight Town. Just
Rumored.
rumored to be that the residents just left. Apparently, they can walk between shadows, whatever that means. Can they move from from?
Well, we saw it with
One
our own
shadow to one.
eyes.
Well, yeah, we saw.
And
teleport.
seeing is believing.
We saw a person disappear into the shadows. We still don't know what they do in the shadows.
Well, it might be some sort of magical thing.
I'm pretty sure it's the occult, but yes.
Well, some sort of occult thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's some serious technology if it's that. So, like, that's some shit that I presume not even the military would have. Unless
should
they have,
point
like,
out
a
that-
really, really black side.
Magic and the occult aren't the exact same thing.
Hmm.
The occult encompasses a lot of spiritualism and a lot of very magical things, but actual magic practice is different.
So yeah, magic.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's either that or our government is a lot more scary than we think. I think it's magic.
Ah, there we go. And Noah is back.
The boys arrive back at the pub, and Ebenezer hands you a tinfoil swan.
Well, actually, way before that happens, even before the races start, Noah gets home.
Yep.
And the first thing you notice is that the door to your room is slightly ajar.
That's slightly concerning. First, I'm just going to pretend that I didn't notice it. And I'm just going to like, oh damn it, I need a drink. And I'm going to go to the bar. Is Isaiah there?
He's there, like pretty much like always.
Yeah.
You
Hey.
guess he probably doesn't get a lot of sleep.
Have you noticed someone suspicious lurking around?
More suspicious than usual?
Yeah, my room, my door is slightly open.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't check in yet.
Hold on. And he bends behind the counter, and you see him pick up like this large cudgel. Well, then let us go have a look.
Great. And we'll go there.
He like grabs one of the patrons, one of the regulars, and he just says, "Hey, make sure no one steals anything." And the guy is basically drunk, but he like nods and starts looking out at the room. As
No
you
one
start
steal
going up.
anything.
Pretty much.
I'm watching you.
But you head on up. Do you let Yesiah lead, or do you lead?
I'm going first.
All right.
And when I get to the door, I'm just gonna stop for a minute and listen if I hear anything from inside.
Well, you can give me a perception check. Well, there doesn't seem to be any sound coming from the room. You can hear like general noises coming from the next building over, downstairs, and some from another room that is rented out. Whoever is renting it seems to be having a bit of a fun time.
Yeah,
But-
good for them.
Yeah, other than that, not really. Seems to be quiet in there.
I'll just suddenly open it.
Alright, so you slam the door open. There's a bit of noise. Yesiah, he like raises the cudgel, being ready. And what you see is that your room has been tossed, but you don't immediately see anyone.
Well, this is brilliant. Just what I needed today.
Yeah, so you can see spare clothes are strewn about the place. A few, a coin here and there is just lying on the ground. Whoever's been here doesn't seem to have wanted to steal anything. At least not anything that is of regular value.
Well, this is slightly embarrassing. My underwear is everywhere. Thanks for the backup. I'll start cleaning, and if any of my friends come around, just tell them to come look.
Alright, so you sure you don't want to Call the police?
Have we met?
Yes, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I'm confused though. I have not seen anyone enter here besides the gentleman next door.
The one who's having fun.
Yes. He's been in there for quite a few hours.
And you didn't hear anyone making noise that's not that noise.
Few bangs, but that's to be expected.
Well, thank you anyway.
Alright. I'll see you downstairs in a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
And he lowers his cudgel and starts walking down again.
And
Again, a bit puzzled.
and I'm gonna start not really cleaning or organizing things. It's just checking if everything is here. Focusing on the stuff I got from the merchant's house.
Alright. So here's a question for you. Do you keep the seal you got from the brother on you, or do you keep it in your room?
It's in my pocket.
Then everything is still there. That's a bit of a spoiler, but you know, I did ask beforehand.
Neat.
Yeah, this just seems that your room has been tossed for a very specific item.
Oh no. The dirty letters are not in order anymore.
Implying that they were to begin with.
Well, they might have been.
Well, I'll just have to sort them from raunchiest to least raunchy.
Well, I guess I'm going downstairs then. Getting a whiskey. Probably the whole bottle.
Yeah, so when you come down, Isai is standing behind the bar again. And he looks up to you. Anything missing?
Nope.
That's interesting. Been up to no good, I'm guessing?
Well, it's not any more or less good than usually. So
Well, apparently you seem to have made some friends.
apparently.
Here you go, on the house. And he gives you a generous shot of whiskey.
Thank you.
But yeah, are you? I'm gonna guess you're gonna spend the evening with reading through that book in more detail.
Yep.
Yeah. So reading it through in more detail, you do see that there are a few more little tidbits of information, but they mostly just reaffirm what you already knew about the Order of Farum, and it seems that the book does have some correlation to them, even if it never really describes them perfectly. But yeah, what you can gather from it is that there does seem to be some connection between the Order of Farum and the now called Blight Town.
fascinating. Definitely want to go there.
Yeah, you don't know terribly much about Blyton, except that you know where it is and that you've heard of it, and it's pretty much all this time been a ghost town. No one lives there, no one works there. People try to stay out of its way because it's fairly creepy. Both in name and the fact that it's abandoned, which makes everything creepier.
Indeed.
But yeah, the rest of you, you have a fairly nice evening at the race. It seems that your bets were placed correctly. Gordon does win, although there isn't very much of very much in the way of festivities since it's an amateur race. But it was interesting to see nonetheless. There were a few interesting upstarts, some of them you've never really heard of. But the night generally ends with, well, just a well-spent, entertaining evening, basically. And you collect your winnings, which was 5-1, so whatever you bet, you get
Yeah,
5 times of.
I get $5 back, and the professor gets $50.
Yes. Which is quite a lot of money, actually.
And I also wrap up a lobster like a swan.
Yeah.
This is how the professor gets addicted to gambling.
As if he wasn't addicted to so much else already.
Well, it was mostly to get him out here and to show him small airship design. Got an idea. Basically, it will be like a balloon with an engine strapped on the bottom of it that you could ride like a motorcycle.
Oh.
Semi-rigid
You have-
structure.
Yeah, you've seen similar things before. It probably wouldn't be too hard or expensive. It's more that you need a place where you could assemble it, which is kind of rare.
If only I knew a man.
If only.
So yeah, I imagine we'll eventually get to the pub.
Yes. It's a fairly uneventful trip back to the pub.
How far into the bottle is Noah?
I don't know. How far into the ball is Noah?
Oh, not too much, because I'm reading, so I'm not constantly drinking.
So like half a bottle.
Possibly.
I just know alcoholics.
Did you have fun at the... Where were you again?
The tracks.
Oh, yeah, well, whatever. Someone broke into my room.
The fiends. Did we catch them? Did I catch them? Do I need to catch them?
You weren't here. You didn't catch them. We didn't catch them. No one got them. And, but it appears they didn't take anything. So either they were just trying to scare me, or they were looking for this, and I take out the sigil.
The little piece of vellum.
Yes, that is in my pocket.
Did you check my room? Was there any obvious
I did not check your room.
I wonder why they wanted it back. I think we should plan a trip to this blight town. Maybe.
Definitely.
Maybe we could rent, like, a gondola.
Oh, it's actually inland, so
Oh, maybe we could rent an airship.
Or we
Like a
could just-
taxi. We could walk, but it's so pedestrian.
I don't think-
I'm actually thinking that now if I put some chains around some wheels,
Whatever
I
you're
could, like,
building, I'm not getting on it.
make a steam-powered automobile.
Oh god.
Yeah, I think our best bet is horses.
Oh, I should have
Yeah.
taken the equestrian talent.
Let's see here. I'm not 100% sure of the math, but by horse, I believe the trip would take you 2 or 3 days, something like that.
Oh, if we were marching, like a forced march, it would be 2 days. So I think on horses, if you're doing like a leisurely thing, it'd probably still be 2 days.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Well, now that you're here, I had this idea that I would like to ask questions from the one person who also lives here.
Mhm.
I didn't want to do it alone, just in case he turns out to be some sort of weird master assassin or something.
Why would he?
I don't know.
And you thought it was weird when I said they were cloning midgets?
I'm a master assassin.
No. I think it means the guy next door. I
Oh.
point to it, not to the door. Is there still coming sounds from that door?
You can't actually hear it from down here.
So, let's just go upstairs and knock on his door.
Hmm.
He hasn't left, has he?
Not that you've noticed.
Do you want me to knock on the door?
You're not the best first impression. I mean, you're charming and all. It's just the whole neck unit thing.
Yeah, I'm frowning in my mind, but my face doesn't allow that.
Well, I mean, sure, you can do the knocking, but
Okay.
let's just go upstairs first.
Yeah.
Well, as you walk up the stairs, you start to hear that he is still going.
Damn. He might be a robot.
How long has he?
Well, it's been since Noah was in her room. It's been like 2-3 hours.
It's not impossible.
Well,
It's improbable.
for someone speaking as someone that anyway,
Yeah, we're all gonna get red
You
in the
take-
face.
you basically you take it in shifts. I guess you could call it.
Yeah, you break for water every couple hours.
Pretty much.
Then you reposition to stretch out, you know, the crab muscles. I don't know. 4 hours doesn't seem like a long time to me. And I'm too super red right now.
Well, just knock on the door and see what happens.
I think you already did.
You hear kind of angry voice shout a couple of expletives A few of them insulting your heritage and asking you to kindly bugger off.
I feel like challenging him to a duel.
I just calm down.
He insulted my mother. She was probably a decent person.
Probably.
Mine is not.
I'll just yell back. Well, there has been an incident, and if you don't open this door, I will go through the door.
Yes, there has
We are
been
giving
very-
you a chance to get clothes.
It's actually easier to interrogate people if they're naked.
Yeah, but it's
I don't wanna know how you know
decency
this.
to give people. It's basic decency to give people chance to get clothes on before you go into the room. And there's no need to start lockpicking this if it just opens.
As you're talking, you hear that the sound from the room stops, and a few more expletives are shouted before you hear some fairly heavy stomping, and the door is unlocked and pretty much opened into your face. Actually, no, it opened in, so... But it's opened by a man standing there in the nude with a sheet covering his privates. And what do you want?
Hello, I live next door. Did you happen to hear someone going through my things?
The entire place was trashed.
Yes, my entire room has been gone through.
Excuse me?
Someone broke into my room that's next to your room.
Did you hear anything? Did you see anything? Did you anything?
Isaiah told me you've been here the whole day. I mean, at least very long.
Yes, I have been here the entire day.
And you heard nothing.
No. But why are you even bothering me?
Because someone broke into my room.
Because
and
because someone broke into the room right next to your room.
Oh dear God.
And none of us has experienced sex that's lasted this long. Something's wrong here.
I look at him and he's like,
I don't actually say that.
yeah, I figured.
That would be weird.
I'm reading your mind. Damn it.
Yeah, he looks quite annoyed at you.
I look equally annoyed at him. Just to
Yeah.
piss him off.
I don't know what to say. I have not heard anything. I have not seen anyone. I have been busy. And now, if you will excuse me, I'd like to get back to my recreational activities.
Can I just roll, like, inside or anything like that?
Sure, you can.
I mean, detect lies.
Yes, detect lies. If
Is
you
there a
will.
default for that?
Yes, but I can't remember it.
Let me just quickly find. Detect lies is perception -6. So not exactly good. Of course, I roll miss by 1 again. God damn.
Well, you did have a bonus because he's not lying. He's being fairly straightforward with you. He's just quite annoyed at you for interrupting him.
Understandable.
Well, good night then.
I'm very sorry.
Debatable.
Slightly sorry.
Do stop at some point, please. I plan to sleep.
He like grunts and says good night and shuts the door.
He's a very pleasant fellow.
Yeah.
You can hear quite a few more, a little lower voiced, but still you can hear expletives being said as he walks back to whatever he was doing.
That's when you hear the baaing of a sheep.
No,
That would be bad.
And yes.
Joking,
and
joking.
he's not Irish. No, Welsh.
Welsh, yeah.
No, the Kiwis.
Basically, all the sheep farmers.
Yeah. Wow, I can't remember
Yeah.
the name of the island nation that's right next to Australia.
New Zealand.
Yes, that one.
Yes, that one.
Anyways.
Yeah, you're currently standing a little bit sheepishly in the hallway leading to the rooms.
I hand her a tinfoil swan, damn it.
Oh, thanks.
It's quite
Dinner.
good.
Oh, thank you. I actually don't think I've eaten today.
Maybe a bit of liquid bread. I mean, stout is quite nutritional.
Well, whiskey's technically a grain.
Yeah, but it's not very filling. Anyway, I am going to leave you in this embarrassing little space for a while because I need a smoke.
Oh, so how do we want to get to Blighttown? What do we want to do when we go there?
I'll say we're gonna take a horse carriage there, and I have no idea what we're doing there, other than checking the place out.
Well, I'm thinking of making an automobile.
Yeah,
A
I'm not
quick
stepping.
improvised one.
Yeah, even if it wasn't quick, improvised, and extremely volatile, it's made by you. I'm not stepping on it.
Well, here's the thing: is we'd have to get like a full carriage and then convert it with the engine.
Yeah.
I like
How
the
would
idea.
we just forget the engine?
We could probably borrow a horse and carriage off Lady Fiona. She probably has one.
I would prefer horses over a quickly improvised automobile.
She's not the only one.
Horses don't explode, in my experience.
But I do think we should start working on things. Maybe not tonight.
Working on what things?
Oh,
I don't understand your reluctance to drive an automobile.
It's less about driving an automobile. It's more about driving an automobile that's like very experimental and about to blow up on any moment.
oh, I have no problems with any of these. I just think we don't have time to assemble it, and we might be low on funds.
Yeah. I think we should leave as soon as we can, which probably means tomorrow morning.
And I am gonna stay at the pub to guard Noah's room.
Not Noah, just Noah's room.
Oh yeah, I'm a gentleman. I'm not gonna stay in there.
Well, sure, if you want to rest outside my door, then you can do that.
mean, I'll offer. Like you can stay in my room if you want. Like
Yeah, but someone broke in to her room, so they might come back.
I mean, it's literally like it's literally opposite.
Yeah, but I'm sure
point towards the door.
I'm sure Isaiah won't mind me sitting a chair in the hallway.
Suit yourself.
I mean, if they meant to just scare me, then
Were they successful?
yeah.
Oh god, I have a feeling we might have to walk by foot.
Well, we can always walk by foot. My feet work just fine. But like, if they really just wanted to scare me, then they have no reason to come back. They did their job. And if they are in fact looking for this thing, and I pat my pocket. Well, I don't think they'll necessarily come anyway. And also, I do have a sword.
Well, I'm gonna power down now so that I can stay awake all night. And that's when Ebenezer just freezes in place at the table.
Not at all awkward. This is our partly dead friend, taking a nap.
Yeah.
Is he partly dead or mostly dead?
I think it's mostly that.
Vaguely alive.
That hurts.
I think the correct term is technically alive.
If my audio and video cores were currently engaged, I would be extremely hurt.
Well, I have a feeling that we need to go rob some banks because animals are expensive.
You buy them. You just gotta like.
And we're not going to rob a bank. We already robbed a library.
Yeah, and like. You can always just like rent them, and like even if you're really keen on robbing something, it's easier to rob or steal horses than rob bank. But like still like you can rent horses as far as I know.
I don't know if you can. Maybe.
More common to charter a carriage.
I was thinking we could just borrow the carriage from Fiona. You know, take it for a couple days.
Unless he needs it. Needs it.
Well, if she can afford a carriage, he probably has a sedan since it's cheaper.
Well,
And more newfangled.
Yes. She has one, but she uses it pretty much every day, so it's not something she would lend out.
Oh well.
Anyway, we bring Clay back into a hallway with a bit of a red-cheeked mist in the air.
Yeah, Ebenezer powered down, so he can,
Guard my room.
yeah.
Yeah,
all
I'm
night.
taking my sleep now in the early nights so that I can stay up and just guard the hall.
Okay. So you're pretty much calling in early evening.
Yeah, Ebenezer is. But I'm a curious idiot, so I'm going to totally go and invade my neighbor's privacy and ask Isaiah what he knows about him.
Well, Isaiah, he likes you, so he talks. He says that, well, he only arrived here today, and I don't think he will stay much beyond the evening. All I know about him is that he is from what I could tell, he's some slightly of he's some. How should I explain this? He seems to have some means, and seems to be having a interesting evening, I guess. I mean, he brought 4 girls.
Now you mention this.
Well, it didn't seem important. I mean, it tends to happen.
Honestly, I don't think it was any one of them that broke into my room.
Neither do I.
It
At
might
least
have
I hope
been.
so.
Actually, it's possible.
Yes. As I said, I haven't seen anyone else go up there.
Yeah. Maybe I'll stay up and wait for them to leave.
Well,
I'm not going to cause a scene. Don't worry.
I'm just saying he paid for the entire day, so he might not leave until tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon or something.
Well, Ebenezer is going to keep an eye out, so I'll just ask him to report on that, I guess.
Ooh?
What?
Yeah, I'll set up a little. When I power back up, I'm gonna set up a little chair and maybe like a small desk or a small like end table to have tea on. And if the girls come out, I will ask them if they want to play cards.
Yeah, he's just going to watch my room.
I'm gonna spend the night and starting to work on my big project on trying to recover all of my tools. Well, recover, rebuild.
So, okay, so basically you all take an evening.
Yep.
Yeah. Septimus will go home and start building what might become an automobile.
Okay. You don't really have the kind of workshop that can handle an entire automobile.
Well, a tiny one.
Yeah, he should get like a horse buggy and try to
One person.
convert that. Could probably find a buggy pretty cheap. Or like a rickshaw.
Maybe. It's might take you a few months using the equipment you have. But,
Oh,
yeah, like you have a shop where you can make a bit, but it's usually like smaller things, or like you can make some pretty intricate things, but you have to make it in small chunks, basically. Anyway, most of you go to bed. Ebenezer's staying up. Let's see here. About it's well past midnight when we see Ebenezer sitting at his little guard post, and you see 2 of the girls exit the neighboring room to Noah's, They seem to be trying to be fairly quiet, and they just barely notice you sitting there pretty much in the dark.
Yeah, I'll tip my cap and offer them tea.
They look at you a bit strange. Let's see here.
Diplomacy?
No, I'm just making a reaction check here. One of the girls seems a bit like apprehensive at first. Like they don't say anything, but one of them seems to shrink back a little. But as you speak and offer them tea, the other one is like, "Who might you be, sir?"
Friends call me Ebenezer. There was a break-in here earlier tonight. I'm just making sure it doesn't happen again.
Ooh, that sounds horrible. Well, not that I'm trying to be rude or anything, but it is quite late, and we need to head on home. So if you don't mind, I think we will pass on the offer.
Ah, shame. I'm so bored. A game of chance, perhaps?
No, thank you. We do need our rest.
I will tip my hat and will not engage them further.
They they sort of hurry off. It's like you think you might have spooked them a little bit.
It happens. A lot.
So probably neither of them was a master spy. Or even a shitty spy.
Could have been an excellent spy.
True.
So yeah, I'm drinking tea and shuffling cards.
Yeah, it's a pretty boring night, to be honest, because beyond that, nothing much else happens.
Just a montage of me passing time.
Pretty much.
Like there's a scene where I'm clearly practicing my dual stance with my fake pistol. Pulling the trigger and the bang flag comes out and I reset it. There's probably an hour where I'm just standing on my head.
Alright. Well, it becomes morning as yeah, nothing interesting really happens. The other occupant's room is quiet for the rest of the evening.
The other two girls didn't come out.
Nope.
Why did you say it like that? That sounded very suspicious.
Yeah. It sounded like they're not coming out.
I feel like if there was a murder, the other girls would have screamed.
Not if they did it.
Well, that's true. And also, if
Not
they
if they-
paid high enough.
Yeah, not if there was 2 murders.
Well, there'd have to be 3 murders.
Why?
Well, there was 4 prostitutes and 1 person. So if 2 people come out, that means 3 people might be dead.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I was just thinking if the guy is into some really sick shit, but yeah, whatever.
Well, the prostitutes might just be murder prostitutes.
Who knows?
Black widows. So yeah, Dawn comes and Ebenezer's sitting there in his chair like he hasn't been randomly doing stuff for 8 hours.
And I wake up.
There's a house of cards built around the teapot.
Huh. Seems you had a productive night.
Yeah, and I'll tell her about the 2 girls that came out.
Just 2, huh?
Indeed.
How is this building? Like, could I possibly go out of my window and see inside the other room's window?
Is there a fire escape?
No, there is no fire escape, and the windows aren't close enough to where you could do that.
Yeah, I figured. Also, I'm not very good at climbing things.
We could drill a hole in the wall.
Yes,
We're
I
so
probably
creepy.
wouldn't appreciate that.
Like, this is probably just some guy that came here to get laid, and we're like, this is suspicious.
Well, I am relentlessly curious.
Well,
I'll go down and get breakfast.
Yesaya greets you like he does pretty much every morning. He looks ragged as usual.
What does he look like? Because I'm imagining a chubby Hugh Jackman.
Well, he's a sort of portly fella. Tends to be dressed in fairly rugged clothing. Is like he usually has a somewhat stained shirt and a pair of fairly rugged pants on and an apron most of the time. Sometimes he doesn't really bother, but it's kind of comes with the job. He's got a fairly well kept full beard, and he's starting to get up in age a little bit, so his hair has started to recede a bit. But other than that, he's just he's fairly average. He's Caucasian. That's pretty much it.
So not quite Hugh Jackman.
Not quite.
Makes sense.
But he serves you breakfast as normal. It's a fairly bland meal. There's like a bit of oatmeal, some bread, a bit of butter, and assorted meats if wanted, and some fruit.
Yay.
And
Yeah.
Ebenezer's gonna grab a big plate and have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm going to eat and sort of keep an eye out to see if the other girls leave.
Septimus will crawl from bed and down to the workshop and start tinkering while the water for tea is getting hot.
Alright, well, you all pretty much get prepared as you usually do. Neither the girls or the man seem to come down in the maybe 2 hours you take to just chill out, basically, have your breakfast in peace. The The bar slash tavern bit seems to be fairly empty right now. It's mostly an evening business. So it's pretty much just you and Yesaya in there.
So I've lived in the city a long time. What's like the long distance travel options? Like, is there a bus or a train?
Train goes between most cities that are along certain routes. Other than that, it's going by horse if you want to get to smaller villages. Like Blighttown, it's not on any of the major trading routes. It's not on any of the railway lines. It doesn't have any airship docks or anything like that. So yeah, people tend to avoid it since there's no real reason to go there.
We could take a train to get close and then buy horses or rent horses.
The next closest destination is about 30 miles away from it. And it is on one of the railway lines. And train tickets are fairly cheap.
So it'll be a longer trip in the run, but it'll be an easier trip.
Yeah.
So who wants to go to the train station, and should we go get Septimus?
Train seems like a good idea.
Yeah, but let me just check something first. And I'm going to my room, and I'm going to press my ear against the wall. Do I hear anything?
Give me a perception check at like -3, because you're trying to hear through the wall. You hear nothing.
So either they're not snoring, or they're not in there.
Take a curtain rod and use it to make a little hole in the wall.
You know, I live here. I don't want to make a hole in the wall of my room.
You can put a picture over it after.
It's also wood, not plaster.
Never mind.
Well, I kind of want to break in, but I'm not going to do that. It's not worth it. So I'm just gonna go downstairs. Train station.
We'll have to pick Septimus up, though.
Definitely yes.
So we'll head off to Septimus's workshop.
Well, Septimus is currently working on what might one day turn into a car. Or like a motorcycle. Steam-powered version.
I'm probably there. Also on the down there. Drinking.
Oh. What now?
We're going to Blighttown. You want to come?
Yeah, I'm working on the car.
Is it gonna be done in the next 50 minutes?
No.
Well, let's grab a train.
Yeah. You can take your
I
notebook
don't
with you
think
and draw in a
trains. I don't think trains go all the way to Blighttown.
They don't. We'll have to
They
take
go
horses. But
They
it'll
go
be
closer.
it'll be a shorter ride.
Or we can just walk 13 miles. It's not that bad.
Oh, I thought it was 50 miles.
It's 50 miles from where you are. It's 30 miles from the nearest town, which is on a train stop.
Or we can get horses.
Yeah, we
Or
ride
a-
the train, we get horses, we return the horses, we get our deposit back. Take the train
Most
back.
of it. There is a fee for renting.
Well, yeah, but it's like you pay a deposit on a horse, like the price of the horse, if you were to take it. And then you get most of the money back. Most, but not all.
Yeah. I'm not sure you actually have the money to purchase to put down for a full deposit, but in smaller cities or towns, it's generally cheaper anyway.
We'll rent geckos.
More what I mean that people expect their horses back because it's more common.
Yeah.
So it's usually a much lower price. But
So-
yeah,
Rain tracer. Yes, that is correct.
well, you are in luck. It's one of the more traveled rail lines, so there's quite a few trains going there every day. And this morning there is a train only about an hour's of wait time.
Well, I probably told Isaiah that I might be gone for a few days.
He basically just told you to take care.
So the hour we're at the train station, I'm like, what do we do exactly?
When we want to buy train tickets?
No, I mean, like, what's the purpose of our organization?
Define,
We have an organization.
define the
The
secret
four of
group.
us? Are we an organization?
I don't think we're an organization. I think we're just a group of people.
I think we need to have a specific goal and much more members to be an organization.
Well, I've been trying to do the paperwork, and it's been a nightmare. I mean, the tax codes alone.
Well,
Just write it in as supplementary income.
how about a freelance investigating team?
Ooh, detectives. I like that.
How about investigation and acquisition?
Archaeologist. Got it.
Do we need to name our organization? I mean, I guess for tax purposes, if we actually did that.
Yeah, I don't think any one of you paid like any major tax in quite a while.
I'm a dependent. Lady Fiona writes me off as a tax write-off.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and the other three of you don't really have stable incomes.
Nope.
So
Well, not official ones.
Not
And Silver
anymore.
State.
Well, it's something to
So-
think on, because Ebenezer needs to be able to define his purpose.
Let's put a pin on that. We have a whole train ride to think about it. But now let's first get some tickets from the ticket lady or gentleman.
well, you fairly easily get a ticket. It's like $10. You're in like economy class, I'm guessing.
I would
Yeah.
like to buy a ticket to the dining car.
It's like $5 extra.
And I will chip in the $5 extra for everyone.
Fine.
It's
The-
where the
the-
alcohol is.
The trip is only going to take you like maybe here it would take you about
20, 30 minutes, depending on stops.
yeah. I think it's going to take you about an hour.
Yeah, it's not a monorail train.
Exactly. You want access to the bar, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I could take that.
So I'll buy us a table on the dining car.
Yeah, but it's just $15 in total, ticket and dining car access.
Yep. So $60, yes.
Yeah, the wait goes by fairly uneventful. It's a train station in the morning, so it's sort of busy. People seem to be going on business trips and whatnot. And you get on the train. It's most of you have probably had a train experience at some point in the past.
I might actually be the only one who doesn't.
Well, that's not terribly uncommon. A lot of people in this day and age can go their entire lives without stepping foot on a train.
I've definitely been in a train before.
Me too. I've been on fancy trains. Where they had galas.
Choo choo.
But the 1 hour trip is quite uneventful. You spend the time just lounging in the diner car, grabbing a few cheap drinks, maybe a quick snack, because there is some fairly decent food in here as well. Although you do get some kind of strange looks from quite a few people actually, because the dining car is not really reserved for finer people, but they're usually the only ones who tend to actually buy tickets for it.
I'm used to getting weird looks everywhere I go. So yeah, I'm gonna spend my hour going through names and possible ways that I could possibly think about our organizing.
I'm going to reject most of them. Just flat out, no, that's stupid.
But the Finders, it's such a good name. Internally, I'm puking.
But it's dumb.
Okay.
We're not terribly good at finding. Are we? I guess we are. But we also do other things.
Investigations and property something.
Property retrieval.
Yes.
That sounds good and totally legal. I like it. It's decent. But that's only what we do. That's not a name.
Indeed. However, I can start the tax forms now. And that's probably when we pull up.
Pretty much. The train pulls up in a little, It's a town, basically. It's a few thousand citizens. The town is called... it's called Maine.
Ooh. I like this town.
Hmm.
I wonder why.
I bet their
Yeah.
central economy is around some sort of mill work, possibly paper processing or something else.
It's mostly outlying farmsteads. There is a bit of commercial practice, as it is on the rail line. But yeah, most people here are pretty much country bumpkins.
That would be rude to say to their face.
Pumpkins?
Bumpkins.
Yes.
Yes. Orange country pumpkin monsters.
I'd more say it's an old term for rednecks.
Yeah, I know what a bumpkin is. But Max turned it into pumpkin, and then... now there are pumpkin monsters everywhere.
Oh dear God, what have I done?
Yeah. You do tend to, like, as you exit and look around for a little bit, you do catch quite a few odd glimpses, because you are city folk. And you are traveling with a metal man.
And I will gladly stop and talk to every person that's interested in talking to me.
People seem to avoid you like the plague, even though they keep staring at you.
I desperately just want contact. Internal struggles, never mind them.
I imagine you're tipping your hat to everyone.
Yep, holding doors open.
Just constantly arm waving in the air with the hat.
Well, you do so, and you get a few more strange and kind of surprised looks, but a few gentlemen actually do tip their hat back in just a civil fashion. Don't want to be rude, even if it's a strange person.
How's the weather, by the way, and do we know what time of year is it? It is.
It's currently early fall, and this year you've been quite lucky with the sun, and it's still sort of warm. I mean, it's not summer, but it's fairly favorable weather, and the sky is blue for once, which you're not very accustomed to.
Oh, it's so weird. The sky should
What
be a
i-
nice gold.
I completely agree.
Well, let's find this stable. And I'm gonna start looking for a stable.
Well, you quite quickly find a livery. It looks to be not terribly large place, but it says Johnson's Livery on the sign outside.
I enter.
I follow. Very quickly. So whoever's inside doesn't have time to be scared of the middleman.
Anybody at the counter?
Yes, as you enter, you see a middle-aged man, blonde, a beautifully well-kept mustache. He's dressed in businessman's clothing. He has a bit of a slightly undersized bowler cap on.
I appreciate good hat choices.
And as he sees you enter, he kind of bristles slightly as he seems surprised. Good day.
Good day, my good sir. I need to rent 4 horses for the day.
Very well.
Ebenezer, how much do you weigh?
That would be up to the GM.
You're about like 300 pounds, which is you're still within the reaches of a normal riding horse.
Okay, good.
I'll just need like a Clydesdale or something.
A little bit of a heavier set one. Maybe.
Yeah, not a pony. That poor
No.
pony.
You probably couldn't ride a pony. I've tried. As a big guy, ponies are hard to ride.
They are small.
Yes. And usually quite fat.
I will also compliment him on his mustache and ask him what kind of wax he uses.
Oh, none really. I just trim it.
It is
Well-
quite stunning.
Yeah, thank you. How long do you wish to rent these horses?
Oh, a
And
day.
where would you be going?
I will tell him.
I think
that-
we're gonna need them.
I'm not
only
going to
for a
tell him
day.
the exact location, but I'm going to tell him. I'll tell him the town opposite of the direction we're actually heading.
So there's another small town, like 25 miles away. It's called Lower Tram.
Oh, I think we'll actually need him for a couple days because we're heading out to Lower Tram.
Ah, very well. Well, I could put you up for a week. It would cost you $50 a horse, including the deposits.
This seems perfectly reasonable to me, I think.
Okay, how much walking around money do I have from Fiona?
You probably have, say, $200-300, which is still quite a lot of money.
Yeah, let's say 300, and I spent 60 on the tickets, so I have 240.
Are you certain that because we are so many, that we can't get it a bit cheaper?
I think we're getting it already a bit cheaper.
Or if there's a possibility of renting some sort of wagon thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do not deal in wagons or carriages. Bad business plan in such a small community.
Understandable. I will pay for my horse.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that we need so many horses, and
I will pay for the other 3 horses.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. I will get your horses ready in, say, 15 minutes. They should be saddled and fed.
I will tip
I-
him $20.
You do not understand the value of money.
He's a
Uh,
working man, he deserves this tip.
I don't disagree.
I will provide you with a few days worth of feed, but I suggest once you arrive at the lower tram, you would probably wish to refill. Or you can take it all with you now. I would have to charge you $5 extra.
No, this should be
uh,
enough. We'll get feed when we get to Lower Tram. And we'll bring back feed.
Very well. Well, 15 minutes, it will all be ready.
as the man leaves us, I'm going to turn to Ebenezer and say, "You do know we're not actually going to Lower Tram."
I know. But I thought it wouldn't be smart to tell people where we were going.
Well, I agree on that, but we cannot buy feed from a place we're not going to.
Yeah, but we're also having a shorter trip than I've explained. We have more feed than we need. Because we're only taking a trip that's half as long, we have feed to get there and back.
Yeah, I still think we should have negotiated with him, lowered the price.
Well,
Do you have any idea how much horses cost?
Yes.
We got them
valuable
very cheap.
creatures.
Well, we don't own them. We just
Well,
rent
yes,
them.
but still, we got them very cheap for rent.
And if we don't get them killed, we're gonna get our deposit back.
Oh, I figured it wasn't a deposit, but actual fee.
It was the fee including the deposit.
No, feed.
Oh.
Yeah, we have enough feed. We have feed for a 25-mile ride. We're going about half that.
You're going a 30-mile.
Yeah, but someone is talking about a deposit, and I don't think we paid a deposit. We're just paying for.
Is it
30.
30 or 13?
30.
We
Okay.
are
I think-
paying a deposit, and we are paying for the rental of the horses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said that the $50 was the fee including the deposit. And then he offered you enough feed for there and back for $5 extra.
Oh, I've mistaken fee and feed then.
$50 for just feed would be quite expensive.
We have horses.
Should we get some feed?
We have feed.
But like more?
For you?
No.
No, for the horses.
Is it obvious that we have enough feed? Like, are we laden with feed?
He suggested that you would purchase more once you arrived at your destination. So you guess he probably is only probably going to provide you about a day's worth included in the cost.
And our destination doesn't sell anything. Our destination is dead.
Yeah, but my point is that we have enough feed for twice the mileage.
Oh, you have a feed for a day.
Yeah, but we're
Because
still
you're-
not going as far. I think the horses will not mind some
Yeah.
rationing.
Lower Tram is 25 miles away.
It was 30. That was
Yeah, Blighttown is 30. It's 30.
That's what I've been asking.
Yes, and I said 30 the entire time.
I heard 13.
No, I've said 30.
Okay, we'll get more feed.
Or we can just feed them ghosts.
Or graze them. If there's any grass left in the world.
There's probably quite a bit, but horses have to graze for quite a bit.
Well, I bought the horses, someone else buy the feed.
I can definitely buy some feed.
Well, after 15 minutes and some discussion, he meets you outside, holding 2 horses and a stable hand holding the other 2. All right, I believe I've managed to find you saddles that seems to fit you, I hope, nicely. It might not be the best, but you do what you can out here in the community.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully mine isn't a stupid lady's saddle. I am wearing pants.
Yeah. No, it's not a side saddle.
Great.
Although you could probably sit side saddle in it if you wanted to.
Nah. Why would I do that?
Yeah, you can do that in a normal saddle.
Anyway, I'm going to buy some more feed from him because just in case we don't want the horses to starve.
When you ask, he looks at you a bit puzzled. I thought you decided on buying it once you arrived.
Well, just in case we're too busy to buy it.
Ah.
Better to have it already. We have a lot of business there.
Very well. You might be a little uncommon, but for $5, I'll include enough for the entire week's worth. Feed is quite cheap these days.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Just a moment, and he heads on back, leaving you with the horses in the stable hand.
I'm gonna scritch the biggest horses behind the ears.
I really don't understand why you just pay. Usually you negotiate about it because you might save some money.
Sure.
Or you might lose some money because they get pissed off at you.
Well, then that's worth it.
These are good working people. They deserve their money.
If this was some very rich lord, I'd be totally okay with taking all their money.
We are not
And-
taking their money, we are negotiating.
But the prices were more than fair.
Of course it wasn't fair. He's a
said
merchant.
that-
He puts the price much higher than necessary, so there's room to negotiate.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't think there's much barter going on in the city. I think they have a set price because they feel like it's fair.
Well, after a few moments, the man arrives and he straps a few more saddle bags onto 2 of the stronger horses.
Do you want me to take my money back so you can negotiate?
Well, I'm
Y-
having
you're-
my horse.
You already said that you're paying, so I just don't understand the concept of why you don't negotiate.
You don't negotiate a good deal. Well, you do, but when one's offered to you, you accept it.
Well, Septimus shakes his head and walks out of the store.
You're already outside.
I'm calling my horse Churchill.
Is it terribly fat?
It's a little
No.
pudgy. Just a little bit.
It's larger than usual. Probably quite well fed for a few reasons.
Probably the plow horse.
Well, plow horses are not terribly uncommon as riding horses because they're,
Multifunctioned.
yes, and usually have way more endurance than a riding horse. And are usually quite a lot cheaper. Actually, no, they aren't. They actually be more expensive usually. That's what I think about it. But The man wishes you a safe trip and sends you on your way, basically.
Yeah, during the journey, Septimus will grumble about the lack of common sense of his companions.
Oh dear.
Ebenezer will fill out tax forms.
On horseback?
Oh yeah, I have gyro-stabilized arms.
No, you
Or
don't.
wink. Oh, come on. Well, they have to be gyro-stabilized or else I wouldn't be able to balance or use them.
You have pretty much the same balance as a normal person.
So you go from side to side and make weird baby lines.
I'm gonna have to get new forms. These are just unacceptably messy.
That is a slightly weird thing to say.
Well, in any case, you start traveling.
Yep.
It is still fairly early in the day, and you expect that you will probably arrive somewhere in the evening. If you, if you push it, that is. If you stay somewhere, you will basically arrive there next morning.
Well, what's the land
But-
like in between? Is it undeveloped? Are we talking about city sprawl, villages?
It's fields, bits of forest, and grasslands, but there is pretty much nothing in between here and God damn it,
Blighttown?
my memory blanked for a second there. Basically, there, like, even the road seems not to be maintained. Pretty much the only reason to ever go in this direction had been Blighttown, which by the way wasn't named that, but no one really remembers what it was named before. It's just the nickname that it got after it was abandoned. But yeah, there used to be like a travel house on the way, but that pretty much went out of business. So yeah, you could probably stay in the old abandoned travel house, but yeah, it's kind of up to you on what you want to do and how you want to do it.
Well, I'd suggest that we just keep on riding through the day.
Well, if the weather's fine and the horses seem okay.
Yeah, the horses seem to be a fairly well stocked, basically. They all seem to have been probably previous farmer horses.
Then again, we don't know what we're going to find in there. So maybe we should rest before we go there.
I prefer not to be outside in this wilderness.
Well, if we find the travel house, we can get in it if there's walls still standing.
Well, you're discussing it, and you do come up on the travel house. It's pretty much midway, and when you lay eyes on it, it's starting to get sort of late. And it's clearly in disrepair. There once was glass windows, but they've long since been shattered by probably weather. The door sits slightly ajar, and it's dark and sort of quiet. It also looks like part of the roof has collapsed in.
Wasn't it just 30 miles?
Yes.
Oh, I think we should be able to do that in a day.
You are able to do it in the day, but you would arrive in the evening.
Yeah, and that is slightly worrying to me because there might be something in there. It wouldn't be good if we're tired.
Okay. I actually thought that they traveled like 15 miles per hour.
That's like if you ride them to their death, basically.
Oh no. If you ride them faster, then they go like 30.
Really? Because when I imagine you're riding by horse, you're riding at a slow trot. It's still faster than walking. But
yeah, that trot is I think it's like 10 to 15. Because I know the gallop is like you can reach like 75 kilometers per hour on a fast horse.
Well, a normal horse walk appears to be 4 miles per hour. And a 2-beat trot or jog would be 8.1 to 12 miles an hour.
Maybe it just feels faster when you're on a horse.
Probably.
I know there's a calculation somewhere in the bloody book where you use base move to calculate your overland speed, but I can't be bothered to find it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like 4-5-ish miles an hour, because it's faster than walking, but you don't ride them much faster because you don't want to tire the horses.
Yeah. And I would still, however fast they are, suggest that we sleep in the house. Because, I mean, there might be like, I don't know, creepers in the ghost town.
Like green
So
things with 4 legs.
Yeah,
Kaboom!
yeah, those definitely. And I'd much rather enter there in the morning or early day than late at the evening, because if we have to run away and we get there in the evening, we're already exhausted. And the horses are exhausted. They are still living creatures, they tire.
Oh, I realized that. That's the reason I suggested we should make an automobile.
Besides, it's not too bad of an idea to stop at the travel house. There might be something interesting there, like abandoned journals or, well, pretty much anything. It's an abandoned house. Oh,
Yeah, if we're stopping
I
at
want
the
to
travel
go
house, I'm probably gonna spend a good portion of the night cleaning.
I would like to just take stuff from the areas that has been the hardest hit and use it in order to like make the areas that we'll stay in safer.
Well, before any one of you do that, you come up on the house. As I described earlier, the door is ajar. And it seems sort of abandoned. And as you walk up to it and open the door, you can all give me a perception check.
Just a second.
I think that's my worst perception roll yet.
I think I'm consistently rolling just bad enough.
Maybe it's just because you have a low perception.
Well, no, I don't mean that like, I mean that I always tend to roll like 1 to 3 higher than my number.
Alright. Well, as you walk up and you get up to the door, you hear the boards creak a little bit, and as probably it's Noah who walks up to the door first. Noah and Septimus, you hear a quiet, like whisper of someone saying, "Hey, wait, someone's coming."
Hey guys, someone's here.
I sort of want to just shout, "Hello!"
Greetings, travelers.
Oh, goddammit.
We're the travelers. They might live here. I will knock. Not on the door, but on the side of the door. Whatever it's called.
Yeah, you don't get a response.
Hello, I heard you.
I'm walking around to the back, and I'm flipping on my thermal vision, hoping that the walls are thin enough.
We don't mean you any harm.
I just want to point out, you do know that thermal vision can basically penetrate nothing.
I know that IR can basically penetrate nothing. Which is what I'm using. And I keep accidentally calling it thermographic when it's just infrared.
Pretty much.
Okay. Oh, my infrared's on anyway.
Yeah, so you do see things that most people probably wouldn't. But then again, you're also blind to a lot of things that most people can see. So Ebenezer starts heading around to the back. And the rest of you are standing there waiting for a response.
I'm gonna try the door.
It's a bit. The hinges are a bit rusted, but they still. The door still works.
I mean, I tried to open it.
It opens.
Yeah, I thought it was ajar in the first place.
Oh,
But he pushes it open all the way. Pretty much.
Hello.
Like a like a cat with pneumonia.
Oh, poor thing.
oh. Yeah, I'll then walk in and be ready in case anything.
We're
happens.
just looking for a place to stay for the night.
Yeah, this is I in character and out of character. This smells a lot like a trap. So I'm being ready.
All right.
I will have my hand on my rapier.
Okay. Can I like prepare a double defense?
All right. So Dan,
Yes.
you hear something whiz past your ear. It's fast enough where you can't really see what it was, but you hear it stick in the wall behind you.
I will immediately take cover nearest, close, whatever, and I will yell, "Stop throwing things at me!"
Yeah, the rest of you see an arrow in the door frame.
I don't think they were throwing that.
I thought it was a knife.
I will step in so I'm in a cover with the door.
Could have been a dart.
Like I'll be standing on the just outside.
Yeah. Dan, as you throw yourself in, you do like your eyes adjust slightly to the slightly darker area, and you see a couple of shapes move in the back of the room. And I think this is where we are going to end it because I have nothing planned.
Yay!
So,
I appreciate this because I am getting kinda tired.
yes, so am I. I actually didn't think you were going to Blacktown because it was just a reference.
Well, it seems like a fun place to go.
Yes. It's like the DM tips from Matt Mercer. Always plan for the unexpected. But I didn't because I had woefully. This session was really badly planned.
That's a good session.
Good session. Now everybody say bye.
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 Mm.